Hi. I haven't seen you in like 2 weeks. How you doing? How was your Easter? Some of you came back to church. Some of you did it online. Some of you did Easter egg hunts. And some of you just had a quiet day. That's pretty cool. I like that. I got to go back to church. Yay! I got to go back to work. Yay! It's changing. Stuff is changing. Easter is a change. Easter is being born again, right? That's why we have eggs and rabbits, because rabbits like to have babies. They have lots of them. And eggs are the new beginning, right? And Easter's a new beginning. Jesus ended his time on earth and began his time not began his time in heaven, but went back to his time in heaven to be there for us, right? So there's a whole change going on right now. And it's spring, and that's why they do this in the spring, because everything is coming up. The daffodils are up, and the forsythia are blooming. Kenny and I were in Pennsylvania, in the Poconos, and you could just see the buds coming out on the trees and on the flowers. And we planted flowers while we were there. And then we come here, we come home, and all the trees are budding and beautiful. It's an incredible time right now. Now, last year at this time, it was scary. It was scary, and we couldn't really appreciate what's happening. This year, maybe just a little bit, we can appreciate what's going on, that things are coming back to life. Yeah, things are coming back to life. The trees, the flowers, the grass, the baby animals are coming out, baby deer and baby squirrels and rabbits, and life is coming back. Life is coming back. And then factor in the pandemic, and the vaccines are out. And I got my vaccine. It's done. I got that J&J, the one time, one only thing. My mom got hers, my kids, my husband. I can start to be with my family. And that's what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about how important is it to be with other people, and how do we get back to that if we want to. And it kind of works with what I found in the lectionary, because in the lectionary there was a bunch of stuff about being with other people, but this was the one I really liked, and it's not too long. It's Psalm 133, a song for going up to worship of David. It is good and pleasant when God's people live together in peace. It's like having perfumed oil poured on the priest's head and running down his beard. It ran down Aaron's beard and onto the collar of his robes. It is like the dew of Mount Hermon on the hills of Jerusalem. There, the Lord gives his blessing of life forever. I think that all of that has to do with the liquid that we do for baptisms and how important that is, and the oil. But here's the point. We are together. We are a people who have to be together. We were formed to be social. They say social animals. There are animals that are not social, that some are very much on their own. But humans are social. Humans need to be with other humans. And what happened? We got this sickness that forced us to not be with other humans, forced us to be isolated and on our own, and not be able to be social. Now, we talked about this in the very beginning, of how to continue to be social when you can't physically be together. And we've been doing that, haven't we? Talking on the phone and texting, Zooming with other people, walking outside but 6 feet apart, staying in places where you can be 6 feet apart, but staying away from crowds. And that's hard. It was really hard to get used to that, to be alone so much. But humans also are resilient, right? We are all able to change as we need to change. And so that's what we did. We figured out how to be able to do this alone, and we did it. Okay, but now it's April 2021, and things are changing. We're getting vaccinated. And the government has said we can be together with other people who are vaccinated. We can start to be social again. Pretty cool. However, pretty scary in and of itself, because we don't know how to do that. We don't want to do that. We're afraid of doing that. We're afraid of being with other people. Whether or not you've gotten the vaccine, you can be afraid to be with other people because the norm is changing again. We got to a place where we kind of know what we're doing in being isolated, and now we're getting to a place where we have to be able to go back to being social, back to being with other people. So how do we do this? It's the perfect time to do it because it's a new beginning, right? It's Easter, it's new, and also because it's getting warmer. So we can go into this slowly. So I kind of looked it up, because that's what I do. I looked it up online, and I found some ideas of how to get back into being together with other people. Before I say that, though, these are the verses that I found from the Bible also that tell us that we need to be with other people. So like in Genesis 2:18, the Lord God said, "It's not good for the man to be alone. I will make him a helper." 1 Corinthians 7:20, each man must remain in that condition in which he was called, together with other people. Philippians 2:4, do not look out for your own personal interests, but also for the interests of others. We talk about this all the time. Take care of other people. Love God, love other people. All right, so how do we do this? How do we get back to a place where we feel comfortable with other people? And so there was somebody online that gave us a couple of ideas, and the first one was, you really need to think about what you've been through. Everything that you've been through, because once you write it down or talk to another person about it, it becomes real again, and you get an understanding. So think about what happened that we had to not go to work or school. How did we handle being at home and doing work on the computer? How did we handle not being able to go to a restaurant and eat at the restaurant? How did we handle not being able to go into a grocery store and feeling comfortable? So kind of think through that, process what you've been through. And then when you're ready to go to the next step, you take some small steps. So if you feel uncomfortable still going to the grocery store, then still get your groceries through ordering them and having them delivered. If you're not comfortable walking outside without a mask on, put a mask on. But push through a little bit. Find something that you will feel comfortable in changing. Maybe when you go to your friend's house and you're both been vaccinated, maybe you could take your mask off. Maybe you can go a little further and you can give each other a high five. Just push through just a little bit. And then create your own closure. And keep what works. Okay, so in other words, maybe you couldn't have Christmas together. So maybe you can have a get together with your family and celebrate Christmas together. But the other things that worked, like wearing a mask when you're not feeling well, or when you're in a group of people where you know they might not be feeling well, not with necessarily COVID, but with a cold or a flu, anything that's contagious, you can still wear the mask at that time. Keep what works. And then take care of each other. Gosh, it always comes down to that, doesn't it? It always comes down to God made us social so we can take care of each other. God said, Jesus said, you put God first. But here's the thing. People are God's people. So we need to take care of them. So you support other people. And in this case, what that kind of means is that whatever level anyone is on, We need to allow them to be on that level. Meaning, if somebody is not ready to take off their mask, then you support that 100%, no problem. If you need me to wear a mask, I will wear a mask. It's going to happen. It's going to happen when new babies are born. They're going to want you to wear a mask. It makes sense, doesn't it? So they don't get sick. It's going to happen when you go to the restaurant and your friend is like, I really don't want to. All right, so we don't have to do that. We'll get takeout, or we'll talk over the phone while we're eating in our own homes. Be aware of where somebody else is at and give them that respect and treat them the way they want to be treated at that level. So that's the thing. We're not going to come back out of this and the president or the governor is going to say, no more masks, no more social distancing. It's not going to happen. It has happened in some places, but we don't need it to happen. What we need to do is slowly and carefully go back into being social. And it's going to be ups and downs. I was reading that in the summer it's probably going to be a little easier. And I do see restaurants putting out tents and stuff. So it's going to be a little easier that way. And then maybe when the fall comes, we might have an upswing in getting sick again. And so we go and we do what we need to do. We wear masks. We stay 6 feet apart until we get to a point where we realize it's not getting worse at all, and we're getting to that point. I think we're going to keep some of the stuff that we learned from this. I do think masks are going to be around. I do think being aware of being 6 feet away from someone that you don't know in a time when there's a flu season or something is not a bad idea. I think that we've learned from this. If this happens again, we know more. I think we've learned how to do our work online so that if there is an outbreak of something in a school, children can continue to do their schooling at home. I think that we're getting better, and I think that it's coinciding with this new beginning part of the year, with new growth, new babies, new life, with Easter. So let's celebrate Easter that way. Let's celebrate Easter going on and understanding that it's changing. Not only are we getting daffodils and forsythia and blooms on the trees, but we're also getting to a point where I can go hug my mom and not feel bad. I can get together with my family and be okay to be together because we've all been vaccinated. I'm going to be careful, but I'm also going to push a little bit. So that's what I want for you. Always, always, always take care of others, whether they're your friends or your family, or the guy behind you at Dunkin' Donuts you could pay for his coffee. Whatever you can do to take care of other people. And in doing that, we're going to do what God wants us to do. And we're going to get back to normal. We're going to be okay. Slowly but surely, we're going to work our way up. I want you to do that this week. I want you to make a little bit of a change for the positive. And I want you to think about, how can I get to a point where I can give my mom a hug? And you know what? If you are younger than 16 and you can't get the vaccine yet, it's coming. You're going to still be careful, and your parents are going to still be careful. And it's coming. And then at some point, you're going to be able to get that. And then you're going to be able to open up again. So we still have to be careful. We still have to think about other people. We still have to remember God and know that He's on our side. But things are opening up, and we're going to be able to do this. I love you. I miss you a lot. But we will be together really soon. I hope I see you Sunday. Take care. Bye.